listening to the Packer Franchise Podcast.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Packer Franchise Podcast. I'm your host, Packer Franchise. And not too long ago, the Raiders have cut Jordy Nelson, which brought to my discussion about if the Packers should look into signing Jordy Nelson. And in my opinion, it's 100% yes. I think Jordy Nelson, for what he did in Green Bay, I understand he's getting a little old, but for what he did in Green Bay, he's been, one of the best Packers receivers in the history of Green Bay. And here's the thing. We just got Davante Adams, and maybe you can put Jordy Nelson as veteran wide receivers. Adding Jordy Nelson to our receiving core would help the receiving core out a lot. I just think it'll be easier for Adams to get more, yards, and also be easier for Nelson to get some pressure off of the other receivers. Because if we have, Adams, Nelson, and you can probably say Jordy Nelson as their receiver, they're going to be focused mostly on those two guys, and one of them are going to be at least double teamed, probably Davante Adams, but Jordy Nelson and Jordy Nelson could definitely get some yardage on. When I first found out the news, and they said actually Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson are talking about a reunion, so that could be looking into. And also, I really don't like to draft a receiver this year. We drafted receivers last year, but we had Cobb and Adams. I think we need at least two guys who've been in the league for 5+ years. And that's Adams and Nelson. I said this, before free agency started, I said Green Bay needs to sign a receiver. And so far they have not signed a receiver. They re-signed Jordy Nelson, which was a must, but they have not signed a receiver yet. And I really hope they do in Nelson. I mean, many people don't want Nelson to be a Packer, but it would help, Aaron Rodgers a lot, work chemistry well with him. It would definitely be a real role model, Nelson, to younger receivers, because obviously Jordy Nelson helped Davante Adams and Randall Cobb become receivers who they are today. And obviously, Jordy Nelson is obviously a great guy overall, so he can help out the young receiving core a lot. And I know Marquez Valdez-Scantling and, St. Brown, they're on the rise too, becoming pretty decent receivers, but they still have that learning process, and I don't think they're quite ready yet. They're ready, but I give them another year. So I say sign Jordy Nelson to a 1-year contract, because he's thought about playing for at least one more year. So it sounds like a 1-year cheap deal, maybe $5 million or something like that. 1 year, $4 million. Hopefully takes an offer like that. And the following year, when there's free receivers out there, Green Bay signs one, and they'll let Nelson retire. But that's pretty much it. I mean, they need Nelson, in my opinion. Especially the cutback Jordy Nelson does. That cutback is one of the most dangerous moves, that Nelson has ever done. 2014, he was the main reason why he got most of the yardage, was because that deadly cutback. And it would get 60+ yard bombs for touchdowns. You do that, Nelson can do that, and Adams can do his normal thing, torching defenders, and Allison can just get more yardage. But we'll see what happens. I think, overall, we will sign Nelson, because if Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson are talking about a reunion, then I think Gutekunst should sign to a 1-year deal. But we'll see what happens. I'm not the GM, but we really need a receiver. I don't want to rely on another wide receiver in the draft. I feel like veteran leadership and veteran wide receivers help a team a lot. I mean, I mean, look at some of these teams out there that have veteran receivers. New England, Julian Edelman, Chris Hogan. I know Chris Hogan's not much of a veteran, but helps. And also Falcons when they had Julio Jones and Roddy White. It's key. It's really key because you don't know what these younger wide receivers are going to do. You don't know if they're going to have a good year or not. And I know that's it with any receiver, but I know with Nelson, before Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone, Nelson was having pretty decent stats. And so if he can just get back to Green Bay and work with Aaron Rodgers, I'm pretty sure he can still put up some decent numbers. But we'll see what happens. Now, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, not a lot talked about besides obviously signing him to a 1-year deal, in my opinion. But there's not many receivers left in free agency. I don't think there is any besides Nelson. So Green Bay should go for it. What do you got to lose? Alright, guys, that's it for the Packer Franchise Podcast. I know it was a quick, kind of little episode of why I think we should resign Nelson, but alright, guys. You guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys later. Big week in a podcast next week. Big week. I got Row Pack Talk coming on the show, along with Tom Grossi and Tim Boyle, the Packers backup quarterback, and Tom Grossi is one of the biggest Packers podcasters out there, so next week's going to be fun. I'm on spring break, so I'll be producing more podcasts for you guys, so looking forward to that. So, alright, guys. Have a good night. See ya.